Hi, this is Sharon.
Hey, this is Gary.
And we're Ruff Road RV Life.
And we like looking at freedom.
Every day.
So the topic of this video is budget.
Budget. This is our budget, our first year traveling budget. Now, we sold everything a couple of years ago, and we had already purchased Ruff Road, our RV, our Class A motorhome. And so we travel full-time now in our RV, Ruff Road, with our two dogs, the Ruffs, Tara and Luna.
We're going to go over our 2019 trip, which was from Ocala, Central Florida, to Oregon, the
kind of central
north part of Oregon, and then back to Ocala again.
Right. And so just a little bit about what this video will cover. This video will cover our food budget for what we ate while we were out traveling. That food budget will include eating out. And the reason why we are including that in our budget talk is because we don't eat out a whole lot, so it really didn't make a huge difference, but we do eat out. This video will also cover fuel, and the fuel that it will cover is for our RV, Ruff Road, which is a diesel, and so we'll talk about that. We are not going to cover the fuel for our towed vehicle because some months we didn't even buy gas for that. We primarily go to locations where we don't have to travel unless we have to go down to the corner store to pick up something. So it's kind of negligible. The third thing we will cover is fees. And when we say fees, we mean campground fees. So it's going to be food, fuel, and fees.
Now, three F's.
The three F's, right. We kind of narrowed it down to that. Now, I want to say a little bit about what this video will not cover. It will not cover our phones and internet charges, because we had internet and phones when we were in our sticks and bricks. We also have it in our RV, so in our RV life, so it really wasn't a whole big difference. So we're leaving that out, and that's going to vary between based on what your carrier is or carriers and what your services are. Also, we will not cover insurance. And when I'm talking about insurance now, of course, we have full-time RV insurance, we have insurance on our towed, we have life insurance, we have health insurance.
It's going to vary depending on where you live, what state, your age, and the type of coverages you're going to get.
Right, your deductible.
So that will vary a lot depending on where you're at.
So we left insurance off the table. We're also not going to talk about in this video our memberships. We probably spent about it was less than $200 on memberships. We'll mention a couple that we did make use of when we're talking about fees, but we're not going to cover the memberships cost. Just know that, again, like all RV expenses, they can be as expensive as you want, getting more expensive memberships to very simple.
Right, and keep in mind that our type of RV travel, I mean, you can go boondock, full resort. We're somewhere in that little middle area.
Right.
We don't do a lot of resorts, but we do every now and then we'll go to a resort, but we're not total boondockers either. So we're kind of that middle of the road, full-time RV person.
Right, so that kind of brings us to the next thing that we will not be covering in this video, and that is our recreation expenses. And the reason for that is we like to hike, bike, kayak, and fish. And generally speaking, those don't cost anything when you're out and you're already camping in those areas that are close to lakes or trails and things like that. So
yeah, if you're the type of camper, the type of recreation person that wants to go into the cities and towns and do a lot of the activities that they have in cities and towns available around there, that of course is going to cost more. But since we don't do that, that's not going to be a part of our...
Right. Our big recreation expenses are visiting museums. And you pay, what, $5 or $6 to get in, and or they're free. And so, you know, we realize that not everybody's going to have that travel style, but that is a travel style that we have and that we're sharing with you today. All right, also we will not cover pet meds because we have two 55-pound dogs. They need their heartworm, flea, and tick medications. So, you know, if you have pets, you know how expensive that is. So that's going to vary on your pets and what kind of protection, yeah, or even if you use it. We're not going to cover miscellaneous expenses. That's going to vary. And again, we had miscellaneous expenses when we were in our sticks and bricks. And the last three things we will not cover are our laundromat fees, because those are so variable. Just know that if you have to go to a laundromat, it's going to be about 15, 20 bucks, right? If you do everything. What, ladies?
Yes.
Mr. D goes to the laundromat for me. So
now, we do have a Splendide combo washer dryer in our RV. And one of the reasons that we sometimes do go to the full service resort type park is to do laundry at the full service park that has the 50 amp with the sewer. And we just, when we're there, we just crank that washer and dryer up and just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go and wash
you
everything.
just all day long is what you're doing. But I love my onboard washer and dryer, and I use it whenever I can. But there are times when we have to go to laundromat, and also when we have the hairy dog blankets. We do go to the laundromat for that. Okay, and then the next thing is savings. Of course, everyone should be saving money and putting back money for those RV repairs that will come, or the maintenance issues. Like this year, we bought tires. So we had that money already saved up. Last year, we were very fortunate because that's the next thing is RV repairs and maintenance. That cost, we just put money into savings for that for the future. We have been very fortunate with Ruff Road. We have spent maybe $1,200 the first year. That was 2018, and that was just for some things that needed to be done. And pretty much everything since then has been covered by warranty, and I think we had a $100 repair bill on our refrigerator, our residential refrigerator, so which was covered by warranty, but by the time we turned it in, it really wouldn't have mattered.
After all is said and done, now we're going to get into the review.
Yes. And just one more thing, I want to make sure I say this.
We got one more thing.
And another thing.
I live with this one more thing, so me, this is
the hamster is constantly going. It never stops.
Yeah, one more thing, honey. Do this, one more thing.
So we try to approach this budget talk from a practical sense. A lot of those expenses that are not covered that we just shared we did anyway, as I said before, in our sticks and bricks. So the home maintenance, the home repairs, all those type things. When we looked at everything, well, it was kind of a wash. So we're going to focus on the 3 F's. So 3 F's, ready, go.
The first one is going to be food.
Food. Everybody's favorite topic.
Okay, now between food, fuel, and fees, food was as much as fuel and fees. So, what did we budget for food?
We initially, when I first started budgeting, when we first started, left our jobs, retired, and I started off with $400 a month, and then it eked up to $450, then it eked up to $500, but our eating out budget was $100 a month. So if we include those, that actually is what we spent just about on our monthly expenses for food, for groceries, including eating out. Now this does include eating out because remember, we do not eat out that much.
So our total trip was 7,894 miles, 304 camping nights, which was 10 months. Our total food for the trip, the whole trip, was $6,514.28. which comes to $650 a month.
Okay, so we were a little over our $600 plan there, and that includes dog treats that aren't cheap.
Yeah, dog food.
And dog food, and you know, again, 2 55-pound dogs. So that's not just our food, that is their food. And if we are somewhere where we want to try the local cuisine, we will go out to eat. We don't typically just go out to eat because we like making our own food. but if there's a place we want to try out, we will.
So, and our food purchases were mainly done through Walmart grocery pickup. I think all except for 2 or 3 times we were able to schedule ahead in our travels to a Walmart that was very close by, order our food, pick it up very simply, very easily, and either continue on our way or go back to camp. Most of the times I didn't have to drive more than 10 or 15 minutes to pick up food.
Yeah, super easy. You don't have to go in and fight the traffic. And now we're living in the COVID days. You know, it's not even an issue. You just do your order, pick it up. You can stay on budget more easily by looking at your food order and thinking, well, you know, we really don't need this, or we really, you know, we could use that. So it helps us to just stay on track with our food budget instead of just going in and being influenced by all the bells and whistles and end caps and little tables out that you see when you go to Walmart or any grocery store.
So that's our food, Walmart pickup primarily. Oh, we got one more thing?
I have one more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
Sorry. So sorry.
This is going to be a 45-minute video. But
no.
Just on food.
No. One more thing on the food issue. Just know that food costs are going to cost more depending on where you're at. And we did hit some places out west. The food prices were a little bit more expensive, or if we had to go to the local grocery store, which only happened a couple of times, the food prices were more expensive. So just know that food prices vary, as fuel prices do, and everything.
Now we're going to move on to fuel. And like my wife alluded to earlier, we have a Fleetwood Excursion. It's a 33-foot diesel pusher, and we pull a Acura MDX, and my weight is about 25,000 pounds all together. And we roughly average about 10.3 miles per gallon. So we traveled, like I said before, 7,894 miles, which came to, we spent $2,300 in fuel, which was 10 months, which came to $230 a month. That's what we spent on fuel. What did we budget?
All right, our budget when we first started out was $400 for the RV and the car. Now, we found out we didn't use the car as much as we thought we would. We still used it, and don't get me wrong, we will take it with us, but we came in way under budget with that $400.
As far as fuel budgeting goes, we use a program called RV Trip Wizard, and we generally reserve our campgrounds months in advance. And we can go, say I'm in June and I want to know, and for July, I can go to the RV Trip Wizard and look up how many miles I'm going to be driving for that month of July between campgrounds. And I say, well, I'm going to have to drive 800 miles that month, so I know approximately how much money I'm going to need in advance for fuel for the upcoming month or months even. So that's one way you can plan ahead so that you kind of don't get maybe blindsided and, ooh, I might need more money for fuel. So you'll know in advance when you're making your budgets out how much money to allocate for fuel.
And as you've heard, the more you move around, the more expensive it is, the more costly it is. But if you stay put a little bit longer, then you'll be able to save some money.
And it might balance. You might drive 1,000 miles one month, especially if it's one of those 5-week months. And then you may get into an area where you only move 100 miles all month. We did that in the Panhandle of Florida. There's campgrounds up there that you only have to drive 50 miles. You're at another campground.
Right. Yes. That was a sweet month.
For a couple of them, you know. So it will balance out if you look ahead for some months and against other months, and you can work out a budget for your fuel.
It all averages out. So if you find yourself going way over one month, don't freak out, because I did. When we get to fees, I'll tell you about some of my freakouts. So, but it all averages out.
Right. So that would be fuel. So next and the last, I guess, is going to be our fees for what we spend on campgrounds. So like I said before, it was 304 camping nights. on this 7,900 mile journey. And we spent $4,229 on campground fees, which came to $423 a month.
Which came in under our original budget. I had budgeted $500 a month, and we didn't know how much we would be spending because we've never full-time before. I mean, we've gone out, you know, and done weekend camping or vacation camping. So, but we, just looking at everything, we felt $500 was a reasonable amount. And so we did actually come in a little under it. Okay, so a little word about just keeping in mind that you're looking at averages. Because when we first started out, I was discovering that, wow, state parks were even more expensive than I thought. And we hadn't really got into Army Corps of Engineer parks at the time. We had to stay at a couple private parks, and I like started getting, you know, like this, because we were coming in over budget with our campground fees. So we were coming in over budget, but what I discovered was it's okay. I had to take a minute, take a breath. Yes, this month we may be spending a little bit more for campground fees, but next month we have all this planned and it's going to come in cheaper. So it will all average out. Now, we are not your boondock couple that goes out. We have boondocked, and we will boondock here and there, but primarily we're in a state park, an Army Corps of Engineer park. We've stayed in city parks, county parks.
BLM land.
We did stay in BLM land, and we also have mooch stocked. So we have family that we have visited.
And Reba, Cracker Barrel, Walmart, Cabela's dock.
Right, right. All of those things. So we've done a little bit, but just know that if you spend a little bit more amount one month than you think, or you're in an area of the country that it costs more to camp in, then know that the next month you can make it up wherever you're going if you're on a very tight budget. So the average has worked out, and I'm now much more chill about it.
Right. RV Trip Wizard, put our campgrounds into the RV Trip Wizard. Is how we map out our camping routes. We can enter in our fees that we spent for that campground, and we'll keep a running total for us. So that at the end of the month or the end of the year, all we got to do is go pull it up, and it will give us the total of how much we spent on campgrounds and on fuel.
Right, and RV Trip Wizard, as I've said before, is one of the tools that I use that I wish I'd have used from the very beginning. So if you haven't checked out RV Trip Wizard,
right,
check them out and just see if that's something that you could use.
Just to go over the numbers one more time: Ocala, Oregon, and back. 7,894 miles, 304 camping nights, $2,299 in fuel, $4,229 fees, $6,514 in food, which came to $13,042. 10 months, $230 a month for fuel, $423 a month for fees, $650 a month for food. If you total the $230, the $423, and the $650 up, that comes to $303 a week for food, fuel, and fees. Daily, $43 a day.
$43 a day for our trip. And we got to thinking, we ate anyway in our sticks and bricks, so really our travel was half of that. And even if you're like in your mind going, wait a minute, 304 days, there's 365 days in the year, we mooch stock at our daughter's house and took care of doctor visits, vet visits, and
RV maintenance, oil changes, and
all that kind of stuff. Now, had we had to get a campground during that time, I don't think it would have thrown our averages off that much.
No.
It would have been, you know, slightly more, but you know, we mooch stocked during those extra days.
Yeah, which is where we're at right now.
Right.
Because of COVID mainly, but.
Right.
So,
until when?
Yeah, July 5th, we're moving on the road again.
Yes.
Yep.
So that is probably when this video comes
Yeah.
out. So
Actually,
we will,
2 days from when we're making this video.
Yes.
July 3rd.
So our goal is that this will be out. When you see this video, we'll be on our way, resuming our 2020 travels. We had just started out, had been to our first 3 campgrounds when the whole COVID came along, and we had to come back here to home base and do some more mooch stocking.
In case you're wondering what I keep looking at, it's this. It's RV Camping Journal, and we log all of our stays in it. And at the back I list them all in order that we stayed, so if I kind of want to look for a site, I just look for the states that we were in, and I just go to the page. And I've also got all my numbers there.
Right. So we started off, we got this on Amazon, just so you know. It is formatted perfectly. Read some of the headings for it.
Okay. Campground name, address, city, state, country, zip code, telephone, website, type of campground, National Forest State Park, private, Army Corps, county, land management, other, nightly rate, rates, discounts available, an area for hookups, restrooms, security, cell service, elevation and terrain, time of year, campground description, when you arrived, when you left, your site, the weather, things to do nearby, restaurants, wildlife, people met, other sites to consider, and your overall rating.
Yeah, we started off using a composition book, but we ran across this at some point, and we love it because it's one way to keep track of everything.
Right.
Right in one spot.
There's one thing I maybe didn't mention in the fees part, is that I'm a senior citizen. I have the America the Beautiful Pass.
Yes.
So I do get some pretty good discounts, like at Army Corps parks and some state parks and some states. Some states, none or very little, but
it pays the taxes.
I do get a little bit of a discount in some, like Florida's
right.
great.
Because he is a Florida resident.
Right.
So now, our memberships really quick that helped us with our fees.
Right.
Some more than others. Of course, being interagency senior citizen lifetime pass, I'm not sure I said that correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. That one helped Gary with the Army Corps parks. We also had our Good Sam, because we have our insurance through Good Sam, so we got that discount. We had Passport America. Just do your research on Passport America, because some parks are nice and not all parks are nice. But it is it'll pay for itself. That membership will pay for itself in just 1 or 2 visits.
Right.
You have to read the notes because there are restrictions, like especially when we got out Oregon way and out west, it was like, nope, only Monday through Thursday. Nope, no discounts during June, July, August. I mean, it was almost to where I was like, really, I just quit looking, but we did find some. So they are out there. You just have to read the notes. Not valid on weekends or one night only stay. It just depends. They all vary. Harvest Host, we never had an opportunity to use, but the people who use it, they love it. They love it. And I think that was it as far as memberships.
I think so.
Oh, Escapees. We're a member of Escapees as well. So we hope that this helped you in your budgeting plans. Like you'll hear on so many other channels, or many people have said, this lifestyle can be as cheap as you want to as expensive as you want. It just depends on where you fall and what your travel style is.
Right.
We are very happy with our travel style. This is what works for us, and it might not work for everybody. So
yeah.
We don't feel limited, let me just say that.
Right. And if you have any questions for us in the comment section below, please feel free to ask anything, and we will answer if we know it, and we'd be glad to answer it, actually.
Right. We love talking RV.
Yeah.
So
other than that, click, like, subscribe.
Follow the journey.
Are we done?
We're done.
I think we're done with this. I don't think there's one more thing except to say goodbye till next time. And next time we're going to be on the road. Yes,
the next video, hopefully that you see, will be another campground review. We'll be back to having campgrounds to review.
Headed up north toward North Carolina and Pennsylvania. This is Gary.
This is Sharon.
We're Ruff Road RV Life.
We love looking at freedom.
Safe travels.
See you on the road. Bye.